So today's story is definitely one of those ones where I just look back and I'm like, yeah, I was an idiot in this. So yeah, this is definitely one of my dumber moments. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place when I was a freshman. Now I'd say freshman me was definitely a peak stupid Luna, and when I say that I mean like, peak me doing anything that involved me getting in trouble. At school especially, so don't be like me in freshman year. Definitely don't be like me back then. And yeah, around this time, I was definitely, not doing the best in school, not really getting the best grades, not really focusing very much in class, and like disobeying my parents and hanging out with my friends who also weren't really good influences on me. And yeah, like I said, I was a shithead, to say the least, right? So today's story time all starts off as a regular day back in freshman year. I'd gotten up at 7:30 in the morning. I was very late for the bus, got ready as fast as I possibly could, and I jumped on the bus and started heading towards school. I popped in my headphones, threw on some music, just was chilling, enjoying my music on the way to school, and I realized something. While I was on the bus on the way to school, I'm sitting there and I keep getting hints of weed smell. I'm like, why does it smell like pot? Like, what is that? And I'm like looking around, seeing if any of my friends like had smoked or something, like seeing if they were giving off the smell. But none of my friends had that scent. It seemed like it was coming from my seat. And then I realized I forgot to take the little dime bag of weed in my backpack from the night before out. You're probably wondering why I had that in my bag. Well, the night before, I went to a park with some friends and I brought it with me. And I brought that backpack with me, which was the same backpack I used for school. So yeah, my dumbass forgot to take the weed out of it, and it reeked like weed, which also means I reeked like weed, and my whole backpack reeked like it, and I was going to have to keep it in my locker all day, because if I didn't, I'd get caught. So I got to school, one of my friends came up to me while I was walking to my locker, and he's like, yo, you smell loud. And I was like, yeah, dude, I forgot to take weed out from yesterday, so yeah, I'm going to have to put it in my locker all day. He's like, I'll take it if you want. I'll take it off your hands for free. I was like, nope, I need it later, so not giving it to you. He's like, ah, shit, worth a try. So I said bye to him, went to my locker, put the backpack in the locker, grabbed what I needed out of it for the day, and then I headed to my first period class. Forgot to mention, by the way, I also had a pipe in there and a lighter. So yeah, everything, that was in that bag had a very strong weed smell. So yeah, that's why I was making sure all of it stayed in the locker. So I go to my first period class. I was a little paranoid, I can't lie. I was worried that like a security guard would walk by my locker and smell it or something, but I thought to myself, you know what? I'll probably be fine. If a security guard walks by and does smell it, he'll probably think it's like one of the other 30 lockers in that hallway. I'll be okay, right? So first period class starts, and first period sucked. Let me say, the teacher we had that day, it was a substitute, and he was a dick. He was just like being mean to everybody, super rude, handing out homework when we usually didn't get homework in that class. He was just definitely not my favorite substitute teacher, right? And then second period sucked too. I believe it was earth science, and she was awful too. I didn't like that teacher at all. And then we get to third period. This is really where this story time kicks off. So third period, I had history. On this day we did. My schedule always flipped. Every day we had different periods at different time slots, but on this day I had history. And my history teacher was either hit or miss. Sometimes he'd be the coolest teacher on planet Earth. Other times he'd be the biggest dickhead you'd ever encounter. And unfortunately, on this day, he was the biggest dickhead you'd ever encounter. I got into class just as the bell was ringing. Literally, I wasn't even late. It was the second the bell rang, I stepped foot in the classroom. So I wasn't even technically late. And the reason that I was even close to being late was because I had to go to the bathroom in between classes. So I had to run to the bathroom, take a piss, run back to my locker, grab what I needed, put the other stuff back, and then run to class. And I made it on time, barely. And when I walked into class, my history teacher, Mr. Dickhead, I know I've used that name in the past, but this teacher was also Mr. Dickhead, so whatever. So anyway, Mr. Dickhead was like, Austin, you're late. And I was like, Mr. Dickhead, no, I'm not. The bell's still ringing. I got in just as it rang. It's a buzzer beater. He's like, no, there's no such thing as buzzer beaters in school. You're late. I was like, no, my foot stepped foot in your classroom as the bell was ringing. I'm not late. He's like, yes, you are. Go upstairs to the main office. I was like, are you serious? You're going to send me to the main office, to the principal, because I'm just barely on time. He's like, no, you're just barely late. And I was like, okay, either way, that's not bad. Can I just sit down? I'm here. He's like, I don't care. I'm done tolerating everybody being late. Let this be an example to everybody in the class. If you're late like Austin, even if it's by a couple seconds, you're getting kicked out. And I argued. I was like, I'm not late. I literally got here as the bell was ringing. I didn't get here afterwards. That's late. Like, this isn't late. I'm here. And he goes, you know what? I don't like your attitude either. So why don't you go up to the main office now, or else I'm going to give you detention too. And I was like, whatever. So I turned around and I stormed out of there because I was pissed. I was like, you know what? At this point, I don't want to be in his class. I'm angry. And back when I was in freshman year, when I would get annoyed or angry or frustrated, whatever you want to call it, whenever I was just in a bad mood, I would definitely make impulsive decisions. You know, like if I get angry at a video game, I may or may not throw my controller at the floor. If I was angry at school, I'd sometimes skip class. And like, obviously, those are choices that you should not make. Don't do that. That's obviously really stupid. And luckily, I've outgrown that, behavior. Now when I'm angry, I tend to just like bitch about it for an hour and then move on with my life. I don't break stuff. That was just me being an angry teenager. But yeah, on this day, I wasn't having it. And I was pissed and I was in a bad mood. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to my locker. I'm going to grab that bowl. I'm going to grab that weed. And I'm going to make myself happy again. Now, I think it goes without saying, guys, don't do this. Don't ever do this. Don't do any of the stuff I'm talking about in this story time. Don't do most of the stuff I talk about on my channel. But yeah, I went to my locker, grabbed my backpack that had my stuff in it, and I went to the nearest boys' bathroom, went into one of the stalls, and just lit up. I just started smoking right there in the bathroom, hotboxing that shit. There was no windows, at least not any that I could see that could open, so I just literally hotboxed it. And there was still like another 45 or 55 minutes of class because I literally got kicked out in the beginning of class. So I knew that no one was going to come in this bathroom anytime soon. So I sat in there for a good like 10 or 15 minutes just smoking by myself, scrolling Twitter, just enjoying my life. And then I tweeted, hotboxing the school bathroom right now. And I probably had like a few hundred followers on Twitter. This was before anyone knew about my Twitter or like I even really had any subscribers on YouTube, at least compared to what I have now. And I probably got like 2 likes a tweet. Mainly IRL friends followed me on there. And one of my friends, Brandon, saw the tweet while he was in class upstairs, replied on Twitter. It was like, what bathroom you in? I want to come join. And I was like, downstairs one by history. He's like, bet. And within a minute, dude, he was down there. I heard footsteps come in. I got really nervous. I didn't know if it was him or a teacher. And I hear him go, Austin? And I was like, Brandon? And he's like, bro, you weren't kidding. It's fucking steaming in here. And I opened the door to the stall and he's like, yo, you're crazy. And I was like, you want a hit? I held it out to him. And he's like, yeah. So he takes a hit. We kick it in there for like 5 more minutes. And then at that point, like, I was getting a little nervous. I was like paranoid, not only just in general, but also because I just smoked. So I was extra paranoid. And I was like, we should probably dip out of here, dude. Like, if a teacher comes in, we are fucked. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go back to class. And I was like, yeah, I got to go to the main office. That's where I'm getting sent. And he's like, main office? For what? I was like, well, that's why I'm in here. Yeah, the history teacher kicked me out because I was late, even though I wasn't even late, and told me to go to the main office. And I got pissed, so I grabbed my stuff out of my locker, came in here, and now I'm not so mad anymore, so I'm going to go to the main office. He's like, yeah, bro, you should probably go. They're probably expecting you. Like, they might send security to look for you, thinking you're skipping. I'm like, they probably already did, so yeah, I should leave. So I left the bathroom. My friend went one way, I went the other. I went upstairs, went to the main office. Keep in mind, I reeked. At this point, I had my backpack, which smelled like it because it was in there. I had me that smelled like smoke, and it was not good. I walked into the main office. The front desk lady like looked at me with like the dirtiest look because I just reeked. And she was like, have a seat, Austin. The principal will be with you shortly. 5 minutes later, the principal called me into their office. We had like a temporary principal at the time. It was this guy, and he was like, Austin, I've never met you before. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you. And he's like, what took you so long to get up here? They said they were sending you up like 30 minutes ago. I was like, I don't know. Just wanted to like take it slow. I was definitely in a really angry mood. Wanted to like take a couple laps and take a breather. And then he smiles, this like really like maniacal smile. And he gives me this look and he's like, take a breather, huh? And I was like, yeah. He goes, a breather or a smoke break? And he laughs. And I couldn't tell if it was like a, I'm about to ruin your whole life laugh or like a, it's okay, bro, I get it laugh. So I just like nervously laughed and I was like, yeah, I guess. And he's like, listen, I'm new here. I wasn't warned that you were like a bad student or anything. So I'd like to think that this isn't a common occurrence. But if I catch you again, smelling like weed on school property, I'm going to have security search your bag. So if you got any on you or if you're smoking anywhere near the school, I can't tolerate that. So this is your one warning because I'm new here and you seem to be new here. I'm going to take it easy on you. Don't do anything like this again. And I was like, all right. He's like, all right, you're free to go. Go sit in the cafeteria until the bell rings. Then you're good to go to your next class. I was like, all right. So I left, went to the cafeteria, got a snack out of the vending machine, sat down, ate some chips, and the whole time I'm thinking like, yo, that principal was the coolest principal I've ever met in my life. He was like the perfect balance of like chill, but also like, I'm not going to take any more bullshit, so be good. So I respect that. And he didn't even talk about the fact that I was late to class. He just literally talked about the fact that I smelled like weed and then sent me on my way. So moral of the story is, don't be like old Austin, because I was definitely a shithead. But also, if there's any principals watching, try and be like that guy, because he was awesome. And like later on in the year, he definitely suspended me once or twice for other stuff. So I feel like he was a really good example of like being a tolerant principal, but not a pushover. He definitely knew how to like lay down authority if he needed to, but could also be chill. So shout out to him. I actually really liked him a lot. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the story time. I hope you all enjoyed it. I never got caught for hotboxing the bathroom, but I also kind of did it at the same time, so pretty weird. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.